In a world where two friends decided to watch movies from their youth, then decided to start a podcast about it, we present to you the Movie Test of Time. A podcast about the only medium that matters, the movies. Presenting your hosts, America's sweetheart, Beth Martin, and Irish ruffian, Andy Young. Hello, that's us, your cross-dressing and monochrome hosts. This week looking at Ed Wood. Beth, a pleasure as always. What's the crack?
I didn't learn what monochrome was until I was watching probably some Bravo housewife show. And it's just like you wear the same tones and same color. I think,
because I don't think it's strictly black and white, but I think it has become almost interchangeable with black and white. And I was looking for a good, because black and white was a bit
beige tan.
Wordy. Yeah, but I wanted something that was just like devoid of colour, like Ed Wood is, you know? So like that was the one that suited me best, I thought.
It's good.
And I figured cross-dressing makes sense. Almost certainly we both of us have worn the opposite sex's clothes at some point or another.
Most of the time in theatre, I was always cast as a boy or, it's true.
I love it.
Guard 2, I was like Scapino in this play called The Company of Wayward Saints. So yeah, I was proudly androgynous in high school because I was afraid of everything. So
yeah,
just trying to not exist.
Just embrace it.
Yep.
Embrace,
Except for when I was on stage, which, that's how you do.
And you're like, you're praying to the spotlight.
Right.
Look at me.
Look at me.
Where's my light?
I'm drinking out of my best mom ever cup. I don't know if you've noticed. There's Charles's baby
not.
face.
Is this a new mug? I don't think I've seen it before.
Maybe. I have this other one that says "fuck this shit" not "fuck this shit" sideways, but the font is sideways, so you can't really tell unless you look at it sideways. And some people will just be like, "Oh, I see what that cup says." I'm like, oh yeah.
I got my mother a "Mummy, I love you" mug like only a few years ago as kind of a joke, and she legitimately loves it, and she drinks from it all the time. And then my dad broke it, and she was really upset. Like he didn't mean to,
I bought my mom a mug from the Cincinnati Zoo when I was in kindergarten. She still has it.
Nice.
And it was like I saved all my money, and I was like, I'm gonna get something for my mom. She's my favorite person, and I did it. Anyways, so yeah, she still has a fucking Cincinnati Zoo mug. Okay, we are a house full of. No one wants to hear this, but I'm just gonna tell you because I have had to deal with it. So I need to complain. Everyone has the flu right now. I kind of have a little bit of it, but it's amazing what having a best mom ever mug with coffee in it will do for you. But there's just been vomit in weird places since Saturday. It's Wednesday now. So yeah, that's happening, and yeah.
You ideally don't want vomit in any places, never mind weird places.
Yeah, like within hose range if it's outside, and definitely not in your bedclothes, or comforter, or in the hallway. Or, even a bowl. I'd rather it be in the toilet. So
ideally, that's best case scenario. Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah. Anyways, so we're working on just getting people to feel better, and now it's kind of like enough days have gone by where I'm like, is this for iPads or is this for still feeling sickness?
Interesting.
It's like, I don't know what being sick as a kid was like for you, but I used to do the trick from E.T. where you hold the old thermometer that had the mercury in it up to the light and then shake it down a little bit if you needed it, you did that. And then I would watch The Price is Right and Wheel of Fortune, and it was the best.
I don't have a ton of I remember being sick, but
you were actually
just not
sick.
Wanting to go to school, but actually being sick. I think I feel like I didn't want to go to school a lot, but I don't think I pretended to be sick as much as I went, please don't make me go to school, I don't like it. That was my terrible strategy, which did not work.
No, telling the truth. That says a lot about you as a human, though.
Idiot,
sweet child. How are you? What is new with you?
I'm good. I fairly quiet month. I have a busy month of May, so I'm kind of saving for that and not doing much as a result. A few different things since last week we spoke. I finally watched the Nicolas Cage movie Pig.
What'd you think? It was filmed in Oregon.
Because it's a lot of it's in Portland, set in Portland. Yep. Really good, and like not, because I heard it was like a little bit unconventional in terms of, there's a certain movie you're kind of expecting to be, especially with Nicolas Cage in the role, and it's a very different movie to that, and it's quite lovely as a result, I think,
He loves his pig.
Right.
And
he does love his pig. And
the premise is great.
It's true. It's like John Wick.
Yeah. But a pig.
But a pig, yeah. It's a very cute pig, I must say. So, like, it's and excellent at finding truffles, apparently.
Yes.
So,
Do you know how much truffles are worth here? Do you guys have, do you have truffle pigs? Do you have...
I know about truffle pigs, and I know about truffles, and how important they are conceptually, but I have no idea what the pricing's like for them.
It can be... I mean, I remember being at the store, at, one of the hoity-toity stores in Portland, and there was, I think they were... I don't know. It wasn't like a pound, or I don't know if it... apologies about... There are different systems of weight measurement and length and all those things. But I think it was it wasn't grams. It was a lot of money. Anyways, it was like $150, $200 for the tiniest amount.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So
it's no wonder in that film the guy's so happy when he hands him these big fat truffles.
Yeah.
The truffle broker has a nice car.
Yeah.
He's doing pretty well for himself. Yeah. So, love it. Also, one of those things, because I have a little bit of free time at the minute, I had a friend who knew somebody that was getting married, and they kind of needed a last minute dog sitter. And
I thought you were going to say hey, wingman.
No, good God, no. I'm not going to go to a last minute.
I was like, why does his face look so happy right now?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that is the lot. Me sitting in a house with a dog by myself is far preferable to going to a wedding, But it was nice. It was it's not normally something I do, but because it was last minute, and the pay was quite good, I was like, yep, sure. And just ended up sitting in this house with a dog for 5 or 6 hours. He was a sweetheart. He was called Bandit, and he was a golden retriever, one of strawberry blonde kind of golden retrievers, that sort of darker sort of blonde. And he was quite jumpy and very licky, and it was great. It was great fun. It was just once the guy left, he was just chilling out beside me. I was able to read my D&D books, get some work done. I was like, this is the kind of work I like.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was nice. And then because as I've said, trying to get more board games happening these days. So I was with my folks and my auntie and my sister, and we had a board game day on the Sunday as well. So it was lovely. It was a nice chill weekend, and it was just what I was looking for.
Good. Did I ever tell you, when you're 19, 20, 21, kind of in that what am I going to do with myself that's entertaining and fun? I bought it was kind of for $150. I bought a VW bus. Mm-hmm. And it ended up just being storage, and then I think we didn't even have the title. I don't remember. But yeah, the plan was to follow Phish around the United States.
Oh yeah?
Get a dog, name it Bandit, put a bandana on it, and just do that for a while.
Is there something I love that. B, is there something about the name Bandit, particularly for a dog? I have definitely
Banjo and Bandit, I feel are
okay.
At least here are my best friend has the most adorable corgi named Banjo. It's he's a winner. Do you remember?
I love a corgi.
When you and I went to, I don't know which lock. There was a lock that we looked at. We kind of hiked up, and you could look down, and it was really pretty.
Where was it?
I think maybe down in Ireland.
Oh yes, yeah. It was close to.
But they had all these signs for your dog's not allowed, and it was this sign of the happiest looking corgi chasing sheep around, and I was I took a photo and I sent it to her, and I was this is where Banjo is meant to live.
The corgis are that is kind of one of my dream dogs is to get a corgi one day. I don't know if I can ever replace my current girl, but
No.
like, if I did, a corgi's definitely top of the list. Because they're such cutie pies, and they're apparently very friendly and lovely dogs
And
as well.
you know, even if they're not lovely, like they can't really move very fast, very far. Or even if you know if they try, it's just like all you can do is laugh. They're so funny.
They're so funny, and they have lovely butts.
They do. Their butts
right?
are like,
and that's,
like I'll look at one and be like, "That's a good butt," and I don't really, you know, I don't comment on butts. That's none of my business. But with a corgi, I feel like that's fair game.
It's the only time it's appropriate to use the phrase. I hate to see you leave, but I love to watch you walk away.
Yeah.
Is with a corgi.
Definitely. Not with sheep.
Right?
Not with sheep.
Not with sheep. No, that's definitely not. That's got extra connotations in this country as well.
I know. Here too, unfortunately. Don't forget, we're offspring of y'all, so.
Yeah, we are. Okay, so Beth, do you have any what's occurring for us this week?
I do.
Ooh.
So let's see. Okay, this is I'm sorry to harken back to our. No, I'm not sorry. We did something really hard, Andy. We watched Terrence Malick movies for a whole month.
Yeah.
So Top Fan, hey Top Fan,
Hey.
how you doing, bud? If you haven't seen it already, you can find it on YouTube. Several years back, Benicio del Toro was on TMZ after some amateur paparazzo captured him in a phone emerging from a restaurant with a companion. The off-the-cuff bullshit interview, "Hey Benicio, love your work, man, what's going on?" etc. was politely indulged by a smiling Del Toro, who stopped and responded, but the hilarious part was his camera-shy companion, who was awkwardly darting about trying to avoid the phone camera and stay out of the shot. This was Terrence Malick. Fretting to not be interviewed, though he and Del Toro seemed amused by the antics, the even funnier part was the guy behind the phone camera clearly had no fucking clue who Malick was and wasn't trying to talk to him at all.
Amazing.
So I Googled it and it was, it's worth a watch. And I had to respond and say, like, in total truthiness, until we started watching these movies and I was like Googling and doing Wikipedia and all of that I honestly, even though I've seen him in movies that he's made, I didn't put his face together with anything.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, I don't know if I'm disappointed to see what he looks like, right? Or if I'm like, yeah, that's what I imagined he would look like. I don't know.
Because he is briefly, and maybe it's only because we've been doing research, but whenever he shows up briefly in Badlands, I was like, oh, is that him?
Yeah.
And yeah, I like that, because I was trying to think, you know, as you were saying that, that's what I started looking into, was that, like, did he ever work with Benicio del Toro? And I'm not too sure. I think he started work on a Che film that was then directed by somebody else.
Probably.
But yeah.
That has to be hard to, like, have ideas, move things forward, have conversations, get excited. Like that, and then have nothing come out of it.
Yeah, that's true. But I think that is the story of Hollywood. Like, I mean, I think the amount of films, like, you know, I think, you know, some different people who work in different parts of the industry, I've heard them talking about it and what a miracle it is that, like, anything gets made, you know, truly.
Did you read...
especially anything good.
It's true.
You know?
It's true. So the movie Lovely Bones, Ryan Gosling was trying out... I think he thought he got the part, or he was trying to get the part. It's based on a book that's really... It's a difficult watch and read, but he was going to be the father, and eventually went to Mark Wahlberg because I think Ryan, like, put on, like, 40 or 60 pounds. He was like, I thought the character would be better played overweight. And they were like, that's not our vision at all. And we're going with someone else.
I've heard about that, yeah. Well, how much does that suck?
Drinking melted microwaved Haagen-Dazs.
I've heard that is
the
the Hollywood choice for getting super fat super quickly is melted ice cream, because it's just pure calories, pure liquid calories.
Yeah.
So not even, like, enjoying getting fat, you know?
No.
That's
I definitely, I would probably do, like, the horrible things, and I would, like, eat at McDonald's. I'd eat Big Macs.
Oh, yeah. Like, I mean, it would be, like, I could indulge. I mean, it would be, like, carbs for me, I think. Just, you know. Cheese.
Yeah.
Cheese and carbs.
Yeah.
Just cheese fries, all day long.
Okay, so maybe for like our 200th episode, we'll gain 40 pounds.
There is, okay, let's do it. Okay, there is. I'll go back under meat for that because, like, there's a restaurant. I was going to call it a takeaway establishment in Belfast many years ago. It's long gone now, and they did something called a cheesy bacon chip, which is not entirely uncommon, but the way normally I would say, so that I had little bacon bits and a kind of pot and cheese and stuff. But I would say ordinarily, if you're serving bacon, you get one of the slotted spoons so that like the fat kind of dribbles out. Not this place. They would just scoop it up, fat and all, just this kind of greasy mess. It was a delight. Now, I think it would obviously be horrible in terms of for your body, for your health. Probably multiple health code violations, but it was one of my favorite things.
Do you guys have cheese fondue over there?
To an extent, like you can find it, but it's not a big thing.
Okay, I think it was like the 70s here when people are having like key parties. You know what a key party is?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
Okay, for anyone who needs to know, just give it a quick Google. Unless you're under 18, and then please do not. So it was like fondue and key parties, and you can go to Goodwill and find the old like never been opened fondue like sets from the 70s and 80s. Anyways,
why that's a fucked combination, because like who wants to eat a load of cheese and then have sex? It just doesn't make any sense to me. That does not sound like a good combination.
I've never really thought about it that way. Maybe one happens before the other.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe it's like you have fondue afterwards to restore your
Probably.
energy.
It'd be like, okay. Yep, everybody gets an hour, and then we're gonna eat a bunch of cheese.
Yeah, we've solved it, everyone. We've solved it. Okay.
You're welcome.
Key parties solved. All right. This isn't all we do on this show. Beth, do you have any more what's occurring?
It could be. It could be. You came to listen
for us?
but we're not going to give it to you today. You got to work for it.
Yeah.
That's all I have for this week.
Okay. In that case, we will get into our main section. So it's the second week of our Patricia Arquette. Oh no!
Yes, Patricia Arquette.
I was going to say Rosanna Arquette for some reason. Second week of our Patricia Arquette season, and we are looking at Ed Wood. I was a little bit alarmed when I started watching this because like it was an hour in, and I was like, "Where is she? Where is she?"
Yeah.
And then she turns up, and she's a fairly prominent part of the last half of the movie. I was relieved to see.
Yes. Have you seen this before?
Yes.
Okay.
What a delight was my main thought. I've been struggling.
What's your question?
No, it wasn't a question. It was what a delight.
What a delight.
Which is
I thought you said film. What is life, and I was like, oh God, that was last month, dude. All
right.
Stop it.
Let's get into it. Let's
talk about Angora sweaters and how you make them.
What is life? Well, this told me what life was. It's about wearing Angora sweaters. That's what it is. So like I remember enjoying this film. I think as I started to say there, I think that like I've been struggling to like my attention span has been limited these days. I've noticed that. I know a lot of other people are as well. But I find this so engaging and so lovely, and it was just such a blast. It was kind of Tim Burton at his prime, Johnny Depp at his prime. It was just good stuff, and like interestingly quirky and actually quite feel good in a lot of ways as well.
I guess is this the first biography we've done, like biographical movie?
I think it might be, yeah.
So I had a harder time. This was a good challenge for me to have, because normally I'm like, I go down the wormhole and I'm like, what was this movie, or tell me more about Ed Wood as a human being. But it was like, that was already kind of done. Not necessarily like, he was born, this is what his parents did or whatever. Mm-hmm. But it was interesting to view it as, this is his story about the story that he's making. Right. And, it was just, definitely, I was in a different frame of mind. And I had almost more questions than answers, because I tried not to over Wikipedia it.
Yeah, one of the things, and I certainly didn't think about it at the time. I was trying to remember whether it was something I had seen in the cinema or, after the effect, because I think it's possible I saw it in the cinema because I was such a massive fan of Tim Burton's Batman movies. So it's a possibility I kind of watched it, off the back of that. But I've lost the thrust of what I was talking about. I don't know. I think that I think I was trying to remember where I kind of saw it, but I thoroughly enjoyed I remember enjoying it at the time. I think I thought it was a fairly big hit at the time. Turns out, looking into it, it wasn't really at all. But I think I know what I was thinking about, which was that I don't think I realized how big a deal it was to make a film in black and white in 1994, yes. And how hard he must have had to fight to do that at that stage, because it's not seen as a very commercially minded thing to do.
No. And I remember the kids watched I almost said Gone with the Wind. You guys, Andy's in my brains today, because Andy's fine, but I'm making it sound like it's both of our problem. They're just over, and I don't know. I threw mine out the window. We were watching The Wizard of Oz, which has nothing to do with Gone with the Wind.
Okay.
And the kids were like, when is it? Is it going to be black and white the whole time? And I was like, no, it's going to be color. But they knew that was coming, so it was fine. But it's definitely for, probably people of our generation. It's hard. You're like, well, this isn't,
It's even I've been talking recently about reading Mel Brooks. I just finished Mel Brooks' autobiography recently. And,
you read the whole thing?
I've read the whole thing. Yep,
right.
Yep. And I've got better actually. I've been on track for reading books, but even the struggle he had of having Young Frankenstein made as a black and white film in the 70s, I believe it was. So I can only imagine how much worse that was in the midst of the 90s, when it was the 90s in particular were such a embracing big brash colors and all that sort of thing. So it feels like such a swing for that time.
Yes. And it's I feel like there are certain directors that just never care about the sway of time, right?
Yeah.
So Tim Burton is definitely one of those. Again, my brain is, I have his...
He feels like he has always felt out of time, and in terms of the, when I think back to Batman again, it was such a what is this? Is this modern times? Is this old times? And it felt like such a kind of mix of all of that. It kind of all met together. And I don't know, Tim Burton, my opinion is he's maybe fallen off in recent years in terms of his film crafting ability. But when he was at his peak, he had such skill at creating these kind of timeless sort of worlds that we could we could watch.
So the other director I was thinking of is John Waters. So this definitely Tim Burton and John Waters have a very, and Pee Wee Herman, honestly, those three to me have this kind of eclectic, interesting. They like campy. They like just the if you. John Waters did Cry Baby with Johnny Depp. He also did Hairspray with Ricky Lake. So he's one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He's so. Anyways, they're all kind of in there together. It's interesting that there've been they kind of share actors, not share, but cast the same actors. So I just really loved that. Yeah, it had to be in black and white, and we can talk about a little bit later why. But I think I forgot that I probably watched this at least 10 times.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so for those who don't know who Ed Wood is largely known. I don't know if Tommy Wiseau has taken this over. I don't think that's possible. But he's known as the worst film director of all time.
I don't think Tommy Wiseau can take it just purely because Tommy Wiseau kind of realized what his reputation was and kind of lent into it. And my understanding is that when he did lean into it, it didn't really kind of work quite as well. So I think Ed Wood earnestly made quite a few different movies.
Yes. And he thought they were all wonderful.
Yeah. Thinking that I I'm an outsider genius, you know, I'm doing my own thing, I'm just doing it my own way.
Yes.
And I think there's something quite innocent and sweet about that in an odd way.
Yeah. I loved the way, I loved his character. How could you not? Yes. How could you not? So do you want me to just do a quick...
Yes.
Okay, please. So because of his eccentric habits and baffling... There's some moments in this movie that are just the best. Because of his eccentric habits and bafflingly strange films, director Edward D. Wood Jr. is a Hollywood outcast. Nevertheless, with the help of the formerly famous Bela Lugosi and a devoted cast and crew of show business misfits who believe that Ed's off-kilter version, the filmmaker is able to bring his oversized dreams to cinematic life. Despite a lack of critical or commercial success, Ed and his friends managed to create an oddly endearing series of extremely low-budget films. Low budget meaning like, we're going to make this whole movie with Bela Lugosi, and it's going to cost, what was it, like $70,000?
Yeah.
And you can't, even then you couldn't do anything for $70,000. So, no. Yeah, but they did it. They did it. They did it.
And, I kind of like... respect him in a way for doing that, and I hope, who knows what the actual guy was like, but apparently, there was some of his writings were found, and he very much did think of himself as
Citizen Kane,
Orson Welles,
yes.
Exactly. Yeah, he did.
He was write, direct, produce, star.
We're the only two guys doing it. Clearly we're multi-talented geniuses, and. I hope there was that earnestness to it, but certainly how he's portrayed in the film it's really wonderful. Had you seen any of Ed Wood's films before? Probably via what do you call it, Mystery Science Theater maybe?
No, actually. So we got they used to sell double VHSs.
Mm-hmm.
If there it's like. And not all of his movies were super long. So I actually had Glen or Glenda and Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so I remember this is one of those art house films that my dad was like, we should probably go see this. I was probably in middle school. And he was like, do you remember those movies that we have? And I was like, oh my God, I totally do. So it was so interesting to see Ed Wood after seeing those two films that I liked. And, I like campy. I like, they've like the fake UFOs flying everywhere. And there's a part in Plan 9 from Outer Space where Bela Lugosi is trying to wrestle with this giant octopus that they've lost the motor. Yeah. And he's just rolling around yelling. And it's certain things, definitely stand out. So yes, I had... Okay. I haven't seen a lot of his other movies. I guess he kind of went more the pornographic direction as he went on in his career. So, but yeah, mm-hmm. I love his stuff. And did MST3K do some of his movies?
I'm guessing that they did. I don't I feel like I've only seen a handful of Mystery Science Theater 3000, so I haven't seen any Ed Wood episodes, but it would stun me if they haven't because he's so kind of prominent. He would feel like such an important kind of filmmaker for them.
Absolutely.
This movie was directed by Tim Burton. First time Tim Burton has been on the podcast, actually. And again, I think I've kind of, shown my hand a little bit in terms of really kind of... I think Tim Burton, at this time was, one of the best filmmakers, and it's just on the planet, in terms of, what he was doing at a commercial level was just wonderful. His, Batman for such a, a mainstream character was so weird and odd, especially Batman Returns, and dark and,
the city he made. I think we should put this on our list. Because it's
all Batman movies all the time. Batman is
we could do Batman's, or just Tim Burton in general. Because I could do a rewatch of Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah.
And did he do Sleepy Hollow?
He did.
Okay, I don't want to do a rewatch of that. Anyways, sorry guys.
Okay. Oh, interesting.
Tell us what you think about Tim Burton. Send us ideas.
So, this was just kind of, I was good for me. As I say, there's stuff in recent years that I think he's like maybe got a bit back on track in recent years, but like, I think it was a big period over the last decade in particular where it was just like, I don't know, he's making a lot of stuff that had zero interest in. I did quite like Big Eyes actually, but
I did too.
Terrible.
Yep, I did too.
But I think that
Beetlejuice 2. Sorry.
Beetlejuice 2. Yeah, it was fine. Like, I mean, it could have been so much worse. It's like, I was expecting it to be absolutely terrible, and I was like, that was fun enough. But, he feels, I think, in terms of, directors that have name recognition, there are not many of them, and he is one of them, I think. He is one of the directors that I think people have heard of. Watching one of his films at the height of his powers is really it's such a nice thing to revisit. I don't know that I would have ever revisited this film otherwise, so it's been really nice in that regard. But like, as I say, this was like kind of in the middle of a really insane run for him. And one of the other things, because I was just like, I thought, rather than talking about, him generally, there's so much, it's worth kind of, looking into Tim Burton if you don't know much about him. He has a lot of really interesting films in his back catalogue. But what I thought was really interesting, and like his way into this movie in particular, was that he had a relationship with Vincent Price.
Yep. And
that relationship really informed Ed and Bella's relationship in this film, and that was kind of his way into the project.
So Vincent Price he and so Bela Lugosi is also represented in this movie. They were both sort of the horror theater of blood. Did he do the Masterpiece Theater? Was he the guy that did that?
Hey.
Vincent Price.
Bela Lugosi?
Yeah, I can't remember. Doesn't matter.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
But he was like definitely Hollywood villain.
Yes.
And horror movie man.
Oh, like he was a Hammer horror guy. Sorry, Vincent Price.
Yes.
Yeah, he was a very famous Hammer horror guy. Like he was kind of like the standard for Hammer horror, and he was in many of those films. Had a very kind of like unsettling, kind of creepy kind of voice. Very dramatic, very kind of hammy.
He did the voice in Thriller.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
What,
at the very
Michael
end?
Jackson?
Yeah, there's a guy that's like, blah blah blah, and coming there to seal your doom. Ha 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 ha. That's Vincent Price's voice. That's what he.
An absolute horror icon.
Totally.
Absolute horror
and I
icon.
like the way they play like Bela Lugosi getting mad about Vincent Price getting different jobs that he wanted. Anyway, and I'm sure that was a real thing. Anything else about Tim Burton?
No, I think I say he is I could talk a lot about him, like in terms of his larger career and stuff like that. But definitely worth looking into a little bit more if you're interested. But I highly recommend for those of you at home, if you haven't seen his original 2 Batman films, they're really good stuff.
The first one, one of my top 10 favorite. Yeah. I kind of watch it probably every 6 months, where I'm just like,
yeah.
I just love it. I think it's a perfect film.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got 3 screenwriters. Rudolph Gray, who's largely unknown. This was one of his films, but maybe another 2 or 3 they're campy. The other 2 were Scott Alexander and Larry Karaszewski. I'm trying to do better about pronouncing people's names because I really don't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
Sure.
So they both basically are co-writers to pretty much everything. People versus Larry Flint, The American Crime Story about Bill Clinton, and Big Eyes. The next film they're both working on is King of the Jungle. So, they're very much working in lockstep. It was the 2 of them that conceived of the idea of a biopic film for Ed Wood. When they were students at USC. Mm-hmm. So they proposed to make a documentary called The Man in the Angora Sweater as sophomores, but they thought that no one on the planet Earth would make the movie or want to make a movie because these aren't the sort of movies that are made. Fair. Yeah, right. So they... and ended up doing like Problem Child and Problem Child 2. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you remember those oldies and goodies. Like, which would you prefer? Anyways, to watch this or those. So then they were like, okay, we got to do this thing. They wrote like a 10-page treatment, pitched the idea to the Heathers director, which we also need to put on our list, Michael Lehman, who was also at USC, and they wrote it up. They got Tim Burton, who had done, at this point, Edward Scissorhands, Batman Returns, and The Nightmare Before Christmas. And, the rest is history.
Love it.
So I do have one thing. Burton admits to having always been a fan of Ed Wood, which is why the biopic is filmed with the bias born of his admiration for Wood's work, rather than the detractors or all of the things that it was definitely like you only see the positives of Ed Wood and all of his dreaming. You don't see him as like the alcoholic who died at 54. So, which is okay.
I think, and I think that's quite nice. I mean, like, and I think, I'm hoping that I haven't looked too deeply into Ed Wood's sort of background. Like, and if he, went off the rails, as long as he didn't hurt other people and things like that, then I think it's nice to kind of like see a biography like this for a change, because, I say for a change, so many biographies are like hagiographies because they're like done in like lockstep with,
there's the formula.
The estate or the band, and it's like, well, we can't, like the
can't say this. The
Queen Bohemian Rhapsody, which was like basically glossed over any of the kind of bad parts of that band, but there's something like
the fact that he was gay and
like, and all so much other stuff. So like I think with Ed Wood in particular, it's such a, you can see the influence of the type of thing Ed Wood would have done on Tim Burton's work, and this is like a kind of a love letter to him, and a love letter to films of that era, a love letter to that sort of time, like both how people talked, what they drove, how they interacted with each other, when it's like, it feels like such a lovely kind of time capsule in that way, and I think they really did a good job.
I absolutely agree. To back up to your comment about the relationship between Burton and Vincent Price, so this entire script is basically it's a love letter meeting. He says, meeting Vincent had an incredible impact on me, the same impact Ed must have felt in meeting and working with his idol. And there are two characters in this. It's so sweet how one is taking care of the other. They know, like, I read somewhere that Vincent or Bela Lugosi knew that Ed wasn't making great films, but he just wanted to be, around him, wanted to be back in movie making because he was living in a 1-bedroom house, as a morphine addict. And they did with the little time that they had together, like, it was just truly creative and sweet, and I loved it.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so the music for this film, the composer was Howard Shore. We have had Howard Shore on before. Again,
I loved it.
Yet.
I loved it. As soon as it came on, I was like, "Girl, you've seen this movie lots."
Yeah, I know Howard Shore. But I think he does a really good job of evoking that kind of B movie feel. Like he, so like lots of theremin, lots of like woo, which is just such a great sounding instrument. The soundtrack also incorporates Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake to represent Bela Lugosi's tragic life. So it's just such a wonderful kind of like piece of composition, I think. And I think, again, so like, not only kind of, touches on the kind of tragic elements of the film, but also kind of like leans into the goofiness of the B movie thing, which is just hard to do. Something that only somebody like Howard Shore could do, I think. What's interesting about this is that in this era, again, this is the only time Tim Burton worked with somebody else other than Danny Elfman, which I thought was really interesting, because like basically Danny Elfman and Tim Burton walk in lockstep throughout all of his films. So it creates a really kind of distinct film, I think, you know, beyond his other work.
It still felt like Tim Burton to me. So, yes. Like, it's kind of like, you know, the test of, like, okay, you see the opening credits, you hear this song, like, can you guess the director? And I guess that the two of them got it. They were not in lockstep for The Nightmare Before Christmas, which it's like if you're writing an opera, not an opera, but like basically like a musical with claymation, yep. You know, and also trying to write music. They were not. So
that, you know, about the crime of that movie, in that it is Tim Burton's A Nightmare. Was it Nightmare Before Christmas, but not directed by Tim Burton?
Are you serious?
Seriously.
Who directed it?
I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but basically this
Tim
guy...
Thurton?
Tim Thurton, no. A guy who did the Henry Selick. So he was like famous for doing like stop motion stuff. He also did like Corpse Bride. He did like Frankenweenie and things like that.
Okay, so
he...
Did Tim Burton like write those?
I think the story was by him, but I don't think the script was. But I think because Tim Burton's name was quite marketable at the time, it was slapped on that film, much to the,
I see,
you know, the director's chagrin.
It's like, oh, put Sean Penn in this, and then we'll give Terrence Malick his movie money. Okay, that's
the Thin Red Line.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so I just want to talk. Okay, like, so this is our Patricia Arquette month. She comes in halfway through the film, but her character is so well played. You know,
it is.
She's playing, you know, the girlfriend and eventually the wife of Ed Wood. They end up being married for like 20 years. You know, yeah. She knew all of his secrets and loved him anyway. And I'm sure they shared sweaters. And I just, you know, it's like you always hope that there's somebody for everybody. And this was like a lovely portrayal of that happening.
Yeah,
in this movie, and I just, you know, her softness, her kindness, you know, she didn't have a ton of lines, but like every shot she was in, you were like, it feels good to see her, and I wish she was in it a little bit more.
Agreed. I mean, like, I think, you know, certainly this would have been at a time, things were getting slightly better, but still, you know, meaty kind of female parts were not something that happened too often, sadly, you know, and I feel like Sarah Jessica Parker, who is his partner before he meets her, like, she certainly has more to do, but, you know, it's kind of always in reaction to, you know, what Ed's getting up to.
Yeah, and the anger around, and, you know, the not, how can you understand, you know, creative genius or whatever, and
yeah,
there's a bright yellow bird, that's a parrot outside my house right now.
Oh, nice.
Sorry. Nice. Okay. Everyone here for bird watching. The bird watching podcast. It's a bird watching
section. Yeah. We always have to stop in.
We do.
To watch some birds.
Tell you about the birds that you can't see. All right. So, Martin Landau plays Bela Lugosi in this movie. I think he does such a good job. So the reason incredible. They filmed it in black and white was because they were doing the Bela Lugosi stage makeup, and it looks so much better in black and white on Martin Landau that they were like, the whole movie has to be in black and white. Yeah. And that was the decision. It wasn't like I'm sure they were like talking it through, and it was like an homage and blah, blah, blah. But really it was so his makeup would look more like Bella's.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like he does, like, he really inhabits him. Like, you know, there's various shots of him, you know, performing, like watching actual footage from the Dracula movie, and it's incredible. It's like how similar they are. Yeah, incredible.
And like comparing the Plan 9 scenes to the scenes that they were actually, you know, filming for this movie. It's like where there's one point where like sorry, I just put my mic. The officer's scratching his head with his gun, and it's like, that's in the movie, right? It's just like, it's so bad. One take for everything. Yeah, Johnny Depp obviously did an amazing job as playing Ed Wood.
Yes.
I just, he can turn it on for Tim Burton.
This was an era before, like, the 90s were kind of a golden era in terms of, like, there was bad shit going down, but nobody was really talking about it.
Oh, you got in a fight with Kate Moss? Whatever. You broke $30,000 worth of damage. I'm sure she's fine.
That's just a movie star lifestyle.
Yeah.
But, like, as I say, just incredible looking. Like, he's just absolutely gorgeous, and like just a great look. Like, and like so kind of guileless in a really kind of wonderful way that just like fits kind of Ed Wood perfectly. I think that he gets, because I mean, like, I don't know whether people would describe Johnny Depp as like an enormously talented actor. I think maybe early doors, he did some more challenging stuff, but then kind of settled into a certain type of thing, and then kind of decided to just do big broad characters. Yeah, it's like some of them worked, some of them didn't.
I just, he was. I don't know how big the show 21 Jump Street was.
I don't have any real awareness of it, but I think it showed over here.
Yeah, it was huge here, and everyone was like, Johnny Depp, Johnny Depp, Johnny Depp. Hottest thing ever, whatever. I mean, we were all in like high school at that point. Everyone at that time, not really, but I remember, he was probably on like Tiger Beat or Teen Beat or whatever.
Sure.
Now I'm showing my age. I don't know if those magazines exist anymore. I don't even know if magazines exist anymore. But so I think it was like a conscious choice where he was like, I don't want to be the heartthrob. I think he got in with John Waters with Crybaby, and then I think he was floundering a little bit, and then this came along, not floundering, but just like, what do I like? Nothing is kind of grabbing me the way I want it to be grabbing me, and I think within like 10 minutes of him and Tim Burton talking about this, he was like, I'll do it. So yeah. So it's at the time, Johnny Depp was depressed about films and filmmaking, and by accepting this part, it gave him a chance to stretch out and have some fun. And working with Martin Landau rejuvenated my love for acting. It did for me too, even though I'm not an actor.
It definitely feels, subversive's maybe too strong a word, but it really does feel like it is doing something very different, certainly for the time, and I can see why that maybe didn't translate into it being a big hit, but I love it whenever filmmakers make things that are just not quite. Clearly was meant as like to be like a fairly commercial movie, but like they're playing with something a wee bit odd and a wee bit out there.
Black and white.
Appreciate that.
It's not like I'm kind of gonna draw like a hard line here. If they make it in black and white, it is not a commercial movie.
Yeah,
and I know Schindler's List was not, and that was not in color, and it won Best Picture. So my hard lines are like not that hard. Anyways,
the Academy's a bit weird in that regard, though. Because like Schindler's List obviously was they wanted to give Spielberg an award, and also like The Artist won like many years later, and it was in black and white, but like nobody really remembers that movie.
Right. They're all colorblind anyway.
It's true.
So, not meaning racist. I mean, just like they can't see grays and blues.
Yes,
anyways.
Yes.
Any other actors? Ooh, I do have one more. Tor Johnson.
Very quickly.
Yes.
Tor Johnson. Yes. Very quickly before you do that. Tiger Beat. It ran until 2018 and was continued online. So, I think it might still exist in some degree.
Oh my gosh.
So there you go.
How do you even get the poster out of the middle to put on your wall, though?
It's so true. You have to get a color printer, Beth.
I don't.
Okay.
Who can afford that, Andy?
Who can afford that? So yeah. Tor Johnson. Yes. Sorry. Back to your point.
So Tor Johnson plays like the big. He's a wrestler, and Ed Wood sees him. Is he mud wrestling? What was he doing?
He was just wrestling.
And he was like, you'd be perfect. I need a monster for my movie.
So portrayed by an actual wrestler called George the Animal Steel.
Yes. Who, did you know, they based the character of Shrek off of?
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. So if you look at their photos side by side, it's literally you're like, oh my god, I see it, which makes me happy.
Yeah.
Talk about like living on in infamy.
Yeah, so true.
As an ogre.
True. So I also felt like, as much as we didn't get a ton of him, I really enjoyed seeing Bill Murray.
Yes, as Bunny.
He had a nice kind of storyline as he was trying to get like looking for a sex change and flying to Mexico and things like that.
Yes.
So like, there was lots of nice wee people that kind of turned up. There was a kind of an unfortunate bit whenever like I first switched the film on and like Jeffrey Jones appears and I was like, oh no.
I know. So for those who don't know, Jeffrey Jones is a pedophile.
Yes.
And a registered sex offender and was not in Beetlejuice 2. They had him, what was it? Eaten by a shark. And they showed it.
It was like
it was half his body.
Like half a body, which was a good way to get around that situation.
But yeah, so always unfortunate to see him pop up, especially from, at the beginning and the very end, like bookending the movie, but there he was. Okay, so I have some... really, like, I was thinking about this movie, and it does touch on, from 1994, these are really topics that were not mainstream, transvestites, cross-dressing, sex changes, all those things, but it was done in such a respectful and sweet way, as in, like, this is just who these people are, and... Yes. Like there was one point where Ed Wood is making Plan 9 for outer space that is funded by a bunch of Baptists. And he's upset with them.
Yes.
He's having a hard time. He goes in his dressing room. He's trying to figure out a way to calm down. And he decides, I'm just going to dress up in all my women's clothes and walk out and start directing because that's what I need to just like feel like myself and just get back into my body and do what I need to do. And he does. He walks out in full dress. And he's like, okay, let's start shooting. And they all kind of look at him and they're like, all right. Everybody just like goes about their business. And I was like, it was so nicely done. So, I was like thinking through like what is the overarching point of this movie or what is it? Like, obviously it's a biography, but I do think it's like, I don't know how to say it. It's like a plea for tolerance, you know? Like, see, everyone's fine, Yeah. There's no issue here. No one's harming anybody else. Except for when Ed Wood, like, popped his teeth out and scared that kid at Halloween at Bela Lugosi's house. But, like, it really, it shows all these people as humans, and I appreciated it very much.
Yeah.
So.
I like that. Nice. All right. Do you have any wee facts?
I have many wee facts. Okay. So, this film cost more to produce than all of Edward D. Wood Jr.'s films put together.
I would believe it.
Yep. Tim Burton said that he was drawn to the story because... Yeah, okay, we did that already. Bela Lugosi Jr.'s... I didn't know... Yeah, okay, so Bela Lugosi had a son. I didn't know this. I also didn't know Bela Lugosi. I forgot that he had a drug issue. So that was like an underlying part of the whole story was just kind of watching his, his humanity around that. Anyways, so Bela Lugosi Jr.'s chief objection to the film's portrayal of his father, Bela Lugosi, was his speech, as his father was a classy man who never used foul language. This has been corroborated by others who knew him as well. Pull the string! Pull the string! I love that so much. Yeah. I use that sometimes like in my own mind when I'm like, get this thing done or whatever. I don't say it out loud, but I say it silently to myself.
Sure, to psych yourself up.
Absolutely. Let's see... Okay, so Kathy Wood is Ed Wood. I'm just going to say Ed Wood. Edward D. Jr. That's how he referred to himself. But for the sake of my mouth and your time. So one day, Kathy Wood, Ed Wood's wife, visited the set, and she asked to meet Johnny Depp. This almost made me cry. that day they were filming a scene where Wood would look really messed up, which made Burton nervous for Kathy of what she would think of the movie. When Depp exited his trailer, she just said, "Oh, that's my Eddie."
Oh,
I know.
Nice.
Good job, Tim Burton. I know. Let's see. So Tim Burton has named this movie and Edward Scissorhands as his the favorite of his own films.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like they seem to have the most of him in them. Yeah.
Yes. So Martin Landau, he got an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for his portrayal of Bela Lugosi. It marked the first time in Oscar history that a performer of any category won for playing a movie star. A decade later, Cate Blanchett won it for Best Supporting Actress for her portrayal of Katharine Hepburn in The Aviator.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I really liked Martin Landau in this, I'll just say.
Yeah, so good. I did not know he won that award. That's amazing.
Yes. So Sarah Jessica Parker, who plays Dolores Fuller, his girlfriend in the beginning of the movie, she praised the film as a whole, but she disputed her depiction in the movie. She claimed that she helped raise money for Glenn or Glenda and helped pick out Ed's wardrobe for the movie, which included some of her own clothes. Fuller also said she left Edward D. Wood Jr. because of his alcoholism, which was not depicted. And I guess there were a couple of scenes where he's like waking up and there's like an empty bottle of booze next to him.
That's true.
But she wasn't like, it wasn't the cross dressing or whatever. It was the fact that he was a total alcoholic. Let's see.
Should we do one more?
Yeah. There's so many. Okay.
Okay.
There's so many good ones. Tim Burton's first R-rated film and the only film to have won an Oscar.
Wow.
I know.
That's really surprising.
Yeah.
No. I mean, considering, like, I suppose his stuff is a wee bit too kind of odd for the Academy, but that's interesting nevertheless. Love it. Okay. Shall we get into our final few wee sections here? Might be the toughest too legit to fit of my career.
I think so too. I would agree with that.
Because, like, it's like, you know, my heart wants to give it to Johnny Depp, you know, especially for, you know, at one point they're doing a rap party and he comes out in like an exotic kind of dance outfit with stockings and suspenders.
And his little... Yeah.
Very wonderful.
Yes.
But I think ultimately it has to go to Martin Landau as just an excellent range of suits, just making him look vampiric throughout, you know, like it's just such a great and kind of like very kind of careful selection. It does look like clothes that somebody of that time would wear, but yeah, very kind of like, you know, creepy and unsettling in a really kind of wonderful way. So Martin Landau takes
Can we just okay, real quick. So there's another favorite parts I have where I think Martin Landau gets out of rehab as like, you know, let's take a walk. And Martin's like, well, let me wear this hat and put this cape on and I'll smell these roses. And so Ed's like, fine, you know, and he's like rolling film. And then Bela Lugosi dies. And they've got this film. And basically, like, his girlfriend's chiropractor looks like Martin Landau, Bela Lugosi, with like, if he puts a napkin over his face.
From the nose
up. So they use this like 13-second clip of Bela Lugosi, and then the chiropractor is playing Bela for the rest of the entire movie. And
amazing.
The fact that like, he's like, I can do this. This will be a good idea. And everyone else is like, yes, this will work. It's just like, this man had such a fantastic life and he created his own magic.
Yeah.
And I love that, and I wish that for like everyone.
It's true outsider art, you know, I mean it really is, and like, you know, like we've talked about before, I fully embrace outsider art, people just doing something that's purely them, you know, there's something really special about that. Okay. So quickly, Andy's Animal Acting Award for excellence in animal acting has to go to Bella's dogs. I think they're the only animals in the film. Well,
I mean, real animals. You could say like the fake octopus, but yeah.
That would be disrespectful to the live animals in the film. So
no, he had a lot of dogs.
Yappy dogs, yeah, I love it.
A lot of them.
Okay, so for Ed Wood, Beth, would you revisit, remember, refuse, or redo?
I would revisit.
Yeah.
I love this film. I had forgotten. And when you said, like, Ed Wood, and I was like, yes! Like, I don't have, like, a visceral reaction. That's not true. But, like, this one in particular, I was like, oh, man. Like, I had forgotten about it in existence. And the fact that you brought it up, I was like, it's just, like, there's so much good Hollywood history that otherwise, like, probably would never have been looked at again. And so I'm just grateful that Tim Burton was like, yeah, I'll do this.
No, I mean, like, I remembered enjoying it, but, like, I had no great feeling about it either way whenever I was, like, queuing it up the other day, but thoroughly enjoyed it. And, like, I really enjoyed the revisit, and if anybody is considering it, I would highly recommend it. So I'm absolutely landing in the same place as you. Definitely worth a revisit. It's a nice time at the movies.
Yeah, and we agreed on it, so
yes,
now you gotta...
Okay, Beth.
I was gonna try.
So what has been bringing you joy? Or do you have more?
No, I was just trying to like talk over you, but also like copycat everything you were gonna say. Anyway,
it's good. That'll be good for listening.
Yeah, I know. That's why we're getting all these awards.
That's exactly. So Beth, what has been bringing you joy this week?
We went down to the coast. It's. I mean, it's not like the coast here is like, 45-minute drive. It's not like the coast for you. But we went down to the coast for dinner with a friend. He was dog sitting. Mm-hmm. And the dog, like, it's Southern California, so they have like dog bars where you go and like,
nice.
In Mike's words, they serve only finger food. Which is not what you want in a dog restaurant, but It's cool. So, but yeah, there were all the dogs everywhere, and got to hang out with a friend that we haven't seen in a while, and dog.
Do you have to bring a dog? I mean, I kind of love it if you do.
Don't. And there, like there was a restaurant back in Portland called the Lucky Labrador that I would just go and hang out and get like a pint and just sit and just like watch all the dogs. Because invariably I'd see a bulldog, and then that would just like make my day. So.
Love it.
Yeah. What about you?
For me, I'm back in some anime. I'm watching some Jujutsu Kaisen. It was one of these animes that had been recommended to me that did not work for me at first. I was like, I don't know what the hype is. And like, as it has become this like enormously complex, really interesting anime. And I'm absolutely loving it. And like, I think because it has been such a success, they have had a bigger budget to throw at it as time has went on. And just like, the animation sequences in this season alone have just been absolutely sensational, and it's just, it's really wonderful.
Amazing. It's crazy, just with the games that Charles is bringing home, and I'm just occasionally like I'll plug in my original NES or my Super Nintendo, and wow, it's very different now.
Oh, it's
it's like you can't compare. It's not embarrassing, but it's like.
Oh, no, it's not. It's just of its time. It's akin with the technology, so like that makes sense, but yeah. Okay. So
next
week's episode is Lost Highway, and third part of our Patricia Arquette season, which I'm really that's going to be an interesting one too. Quite excited for it.
It's fun because like we write these down and then I don't look at them again, and then you tell me what they are, and it's like a surprise all over again. I'm excited. It's gonna be a good one. Okay.
All right, folks. So Beth, could you tell everybody where they can find us?
I don't know where everyone's finding us right now. But I'm really. It's like I have certain like stats on certain sites, but like people, I don't know. People are finding us somewhere that I cannot figure it out. But wherever you are and you're listening to us, we've got lots of new listeners, and we're just super stoked that you're here. Wherever you are, wherever you're located. So if you want to find us at movietestofTime.com or wherever you're finding us, I will find you. Give us ideas for movies you would like to see.
Yes.
But just knowing that people are listening, and the folks that write in and give us, feedback, it's just you're the fun of it.
Yes.
The fact that we get to do this every week is just an absolute blessing. So thank you for being here, and tell your friends about us.
Please do. Yeah, no, it really means a lot to us. It really does. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Okay. So we've reached the end of this week's episode, and goodbye, everybody, and we love you.
We're gonna find an ending because it's like.
Take the ending you're given.
Okay, and I will take it and I'll like it. You could always just like reiterate your 2 words from the very beginning.
Oh yeah, okay. We'll take this offline.
We're gonna workshop it.
We'll have something for you next week.
We won't. Probably. We're just gonna bitch about this forever. Okay, love you guys. Bye.
Right, bye.